Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads. We're here to talk about Facebook and Google Ads. So I want to start off. I'm going to show you something new that we've added to the platform, but I want to talk at a high level about both Facebook and Google. A lot of realtors are very familiar with Facebook. They've heard about it for years. They've maybe tried it. Maybe they've had success. Maybe they haven't. And a lot of realtors have also heard about Google, but nobody really uses it. I think when I talk to realtors, they're out there paying hundreds of dollars to companies to run ads for them. That's what I hear. And we have a really simple solution to run ads yourself very simply on Google. And that's what I think you want to be aware of. I want to make sure we start there. Now, another thing that realtors don't understand is that Google is the number one website in the United States. And 86% of all questions asked on the internet occur right here. So for you as a realtor, if you want listings, I highly recommend you figure out a strategy. Now that strategy could be, hey, I'm going to pay thousands of dollars a month to some random company. And that's cool. That might work for you. You might get an ROI or you may not get an ROI. Right. But what you have to understand is 86% of all people come to this website. You know, me, I wanted to know how to make chicken recently. So you can see my little picture there. But maybe you want to know where is a good place to get a martini or a steak in New York, or how do I sell my home? So when people type in a search like this, how do I sell my home? Where are you as a realtor? Are you on page 1? Are you on page 5? Are you on page 50? Most realtors are nowhere near page 1. And if you want to be on page 1, you can see here, there are a bunch of sponsored people here. John buys Bay Area houses, right? Here's another one here. Brothers buy homes, right? There's realty.com, stuff like that. Now, I don't want to click in these because it actually chews up some of their money, but what's going on is they are paying for keywords related to how do I sell my home, targeting people who live in my area. I live in California. So they're paying for that. And that's probably one of the smartest things you can do if you want more listings in your business. So I see some question come up here. Per day. Oh yeah, Tony, good question. The reason I'm waiting is because you have a minimum of 50 for a day. That's expensive for me. Totally understand that. And we'll get into that. We'll get into what Tony is talking about. He's talking about cost of an ad. So let's log into the account and let's go look at that in for a second. Now, before we go look at the ad section, I also want to talk about Facebook. Now, Facebook is the number 3 website in the United States. Okay. Of all web traffic, Google is number 1, YouTube is number 2, and Facebook is number 3. Now, I don't have great stories to tell you about Google or YouTube ads. It's the number 2 website. I do have great stories to tell you about Facebook. And so I definitely recommend that if you're looking for buyers right now, I would say Facebook is the number 1 way to get buyer leads with name, email, and phone number. Okay. But here's the thing. And I think if you have experience with Facebook, you probably know this. Like Facebook is not, it's different. It's different from our Google experience. In our Google experience, I have a question. I go to Google, I ask the question, and you may or may not be a resource for it, right? And that's where ads are, right? So you'll be a resource if you're running an ad. On Facebook, though, it's the number 3 website in the country, and a big difference here is American adults, not teenagers, spend about 40 minutes every day scrolling through this page, right? Looking at what their friends are doing, looking at what they're eating, looking at all kinds of stuff, right? Just fun stuff that just is a huge waste of time. And that's why it's 40 minutes a day, right? By the average American, I think it's 70% of American does, 70%. When you put an ad out here and you got an open house or you have something of value for real estate, if I happen to be scrolling here and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I need that answer. Great. But I didn't come here looking for that. You just happen to pop up in front while I'm looking at all the other fun stuff that I'm looking at. That's that. So Facebook works because we are there, right? Meaning your consumer, your target market is there. And that's why it works. Tony was mentioning the cost per lead, and we're going to get into that in a second, but there is a different cost per lead on Facebook and Google. And so we'll dive into that. Before I want to go into that, I want to point out a couple of changes that we're about to make. This is our Get Started page. And I've talked to Scott, we've been talking about this page. We're actually going to get rid of this page. And that's because we've been building out this page, which is our dashboard. And I want to encourage all of you to go check this page out. It's a little more modern. We have a lot of stuff here. We've got our PDF guides. We're going to rotate these so that you start to use these in a more timely manner. We've got our webinars here. We've got the analytics of your account here, short form videos, landing pages. But I think one thing that's going to help everybody out is we're going to have two modules here. One that says buyer leads and one that says seller leads, because I think that's really what agents are on about. Do they need buyers or do they need sellers? And we're going to stack up the tools so that you don't have to peck around and find what you need to get listings or go look for things that are going to help you get buyers. So this page, the dashboard, start to have a look at it. And if you want to give some input in this 4-page of what you'd like to see, let us know. But let's go here and let's talk about ads and running ads on Facebook and Google. So when you come the first time to this page, it will look different than how it's going to look when I'm here, right? When I go right now. And that's because we are connected already to Facebook and to Google. And for you, if you haven't signed up yet and you're just coming on, you'll have one big blue button in the middle of this page. You'll say connect to Facebook. And once you connect, this whole section is going to be white. Now here, I've got a bunch of old ads because we run ads, right? And so your ads sit here and you can analyze them or look at them or turn them off and on, things like that. Once you have connected to Facebook, it's when you click on it, it's going to take you to Facebook and it's going to say, is this you? And it's going to be a page on Facebook and it's going to have your name. It says, yes, continue as me. And when you click that, the second page is your business pages. And it says, what business page do you want? And that should be your real estate business pages. You can have multiple business pages. Some of you have multiple business pages. Some of you have community pages. You can connect them all. And then later on, when you want to run an ad, you can run on one page or another. After you've done that, then we can create listing ads. We can create landing page ads and we can create PDF guide ads and custom. I don't really recommend messing with custom, but we leave it there for people who, have wacky ideas. The other thing that you should do is create Google, right? And create a Google ad. And it says create an IDX ad, a landing page ad, and a PDF guide, and then custom. Again, I don't recommend messing with custom on Google unless you really know what's going on Google. You really know how to make it work. The beauty of this and the beauty of this Google software is I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes. We make creating an ad, we boil it down to 2 clicks and we make it incredibly easy. But I will tell you this, the Facebook ad software comes with the platform. The Google ad software is actually an add-on. When you click here the first time, it's going to tell you to subscribe for $30 a month. It also gives you a free month to test it out. And I definitely recommend that you test this out. And not only that, I recommend you get into the habit, if you want more listings, to be running ads to get you more listings on Google. So let's go down the Google path first, because Google is the number 1 website in the country. And it's the website that most agents don't know how to take advantage of. So assuming you click here and you've got 30 days access, I want to talk to you about the kinds of things you can do. And I recommend, and I've said it, but I'm going to be repetitive. If you want listings, you need to come to Google. That's going to get you high quality listing leads. So let's go the first one. Let's click on a landing page and let's create a ad for Pleasanton, right? And I actually have a landing page already created, which is the Pleasanton home value page. And when I click it here, it says location. And so you want to type in, you want to make sure that your location, what happened there? Sorry. You want to make sure that your location matches this language over here, because over here, this is what the ad actually looks like. Okay. And if you click view link, which you don't have to, this is going to show you where are we pointing people to, right? I made this inside on my landing page section. I customize it with a picture of downtown Pleasanton, and I want people to see it. So here we've got a $50 a day budget, and that's the question that Tony was raising. And then here it's a 7-day ad. So you have a maximum exposure of $350, right? 7 times 50. So let's talk about that, because Tony's saying, I'm waiting for you, meaning listings to leads, to change that budget. And our daily budget used to be, let me just show you. You can see here that I can change it right here. It was $10 a day. And Scott did that because he knows there are people like Tony that are not going to do something at $50 a day, right? But here's what Scott was not realizing, and here's what Tony is not realizing. When you run an ad on Google, it's called pay-per-click advertising. The same as on Facebook as well. So if I run a $50 ad and you get a lead, Google and Facebook are going to charge you a cost per lead, not on top of the $10 or on top of the $50, but take out a chunk of the $50. Right. And Tony, where do you live? What part of the country? What state are you in? And this is relevant for all of you. Where are you in the country is going to be a factor in the cost of your leads. And so so I told Scott, I was like, hey, Google always charges more than $10 a day or $10 per lead for a seller lead. And this home valuation ad is designed to get you seller leads, and Google is never charging $5 a lead. Right. If Google was charging $5 a lead and you had a $10 a day budget, you would get 2 leads per day. Okay. And Tony's in Myrtle Beach, right? And that's cool. A lot of activity going on, right? And I don't know the cost for a seller lead in Myrtle Beach. I do, however, talk to a lot of agents, and agents in Dallas, they pay $30 a lead, okay, from Google. So if they run a $50 ad in Dallas, just like this, and a seller lead costs $30, they're going to get 1 lead and $20 and going to sit there in their ad account. Okay. Now I've spoken to agents in Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania, outside of Philly, and the same kind of lead, same kind of ad costs $20, $22, right? So if they run a $50 ad, they can get 2 leads, right? 2 $20 leads, and then there's $10 left, right? Tony, you can always come here and say, you know what? I just want to change this to $30. And we'll keep our fingers crossed that a seller lead costs less than $30 in your market, right? Because if it is less, you will get 1 lead. If it's $40, you won't get any leads, right? Now, the same exact ad as we're doing here. Now, obviously, I'm talking about Pleasanton, California. You might be in Boise, Idaho. You might be in Myrtle Beach. You might be in Austin, Texas. You've got different volumes of agents around you, and that's what's really creating the price of the lead. We just put $50 because you at least got to use that. You're going to try and get a lead. We also have clients in Manhattan, New York, right? And I don't know if you've been to Manhattan, New York, but everything is expensive there. And any kind of leads from Facebook and Google are more expensive there than almost anywhere else in the country. And that's why we have our daily budget, $50. We're guessing somebody's paying more than $30. We only know from conversations with agents that Dallas is paying $30 per lead. And I will say this, because for us at Listings to Leads, that's the highest price I've heard of for a lead. And I was talking to this team owner out there, and we were setting up their account. And I said, that's a lot of money. He said, yeah. He said, but for our homes, they sell at this price on average. And we're making this much in commission after the splits and all that on average. So we are totally fine spending X amount of dollars to get that kind of commission. And that's a bit of the math that you want to do when you are thinking about what is your ad. If you're trying to get more listings, we are only talking about Google at the moment. I'm going to show you how you can get listing leads from Facebook as well, with ads as well. And you know what? They will be cheaper, but they may not be as high of quality. And that's why Google charges so much. It's because they can tell you we're the number one website in the world and in the United States, and 86% of all questions begin here. And so the answer on Google, if you're giving them something of value, you notice that here's the headline, all this is created by us automatically. You just choose what tool you want, and we've pre-written everything, right? There is a reason why Google is the number one website in the country. And if you want more listings, I think this is one of the places that you absolutely have to have a strategy if you're going to be in real estate with more listings. So I see some questions. Feel free to ask them. So if you've never run ads, how do you judge how much to set it at? Where are you, Andrea? Where are you in the country? Well, we do this, Texas. I would leave it at $50, right? Because we already know that an ad in Dallas like this is the lead can cost $30. So you might get one lead a day, right? If you're out in Lubbock, they probably cost a lot less. You probably have a lot less competition, right? But that's in San Antonio, you got a ton of competition, right? But I don't know. I would probably just guess $25 a lead. Doesn't mean I would set this at $25. It means I'd leave it at 50 and hopefully get two. Because if you set it at 25 and they're charging 27 a lead, you will get 0 leads. That's the way that it works. Is everybody clear on that? If your budget is too low and they are saying, oh, all seller leads like this cost $5 more, you just won't get a lead at all. And that's why I wanted to make sure that we have that set at 50. You may not use all $50, right? But that's just how it works. So let's go down this path a little bit further on Google. Again, to get seller leads, I think it's really smart, right? If I click on seller PDF guides, you'll see that I have 40 of these. Now, you may not know this, but your picture, your phone number is on every page of every one of these. Okay. Talk about estate planning, right? You can talk about divorce and real estate. You can talk about dangers of overpricing. That's obviously a relevant thing. So if I click on create ad here, and there it goes, it will write the ad for Google. And all I got to type in is San Antonio, right? Now, if I want to click view link, which you don't have to, but just we're trying to learn here, it's going to drive people to this page where it says, hey, download it for free. You can have your picture will be right there. And they realize, oh, I got to give you some information to download it for free. So that's how the ad works. Let's see. What's our opinion of only advertising 10 days out of 30? Is that going to net me an ROI? Yeah. So you don't have to have an ad running every day. Okay. And you got to think of this in a big picture way of your whole marketing budget, right? I know agents spend a lot of money in so many different things, but from us, I really feel, and obviously it's going to sound like it's one side coming from me at Listings Leads. I think you need a CRM, and I think you need our platform because we are the way to get leads into your CRM. I don't even think you need a website, right? But obviously there's a value to that. But then you need to have some budget for advertising if you want to have more people to talk to. Some of that budget should go to Google. Some of that budget should go to Facebook, and some of that budget should go to print. Okay. Especially if you want listings. Now, I'm going to point this out to everybody right now. We have a YouTube channel called Listings to Leads. I'm going to send this to everybody right now. I'm not going to go completely down the rabbit hole of getting listings today. And that's because I did that 2 days ago. It's recorded right here. And I just sent this to everybody. And it says target all 4 channels: Facebook, Google, print, and CRM. If you want more listings in your business, watch that call. Okay. A lot of what we're talking about today is part of that call, right? Here we are. Here's a PDF, one of the 40 PDFs for homeowners. This one's about overpriced. So if I click on advanced options, which I don't really recommend, it talks about, these are the keywords. So remember when I did this search, how do I sell my home? These are the keywords that these people down here are paying for, right? They're saying, hey, if anybody types in these words on Google, I want my ad to go here. And here are all the keywords that we're talking about, right? And so we bought all these, we put them in there automatically for you. All these headlines, if you go to Google and try to do this yourself, it's going to tell you write multiple headlines. It's also going to tell you write multiple descriptions. And these are the descriptions right here. And instead of you doing it by hand, which you certainly can do, you can use our software and we do it all for you. You just say, hey, I want to use that PDF guide, or I want to use that landing page. And I'm going to type in the name of the town where I'm interested in marketing and publish. It's that easy. Okay. Tony, to wrap up on your question about should I do 10 out of 30 days? Yeah, I would say at least everybody does a 7-day ad once a month on Google. And that should always be to get listing. Now, obviously, if, wherever you are in the country, if it's a $50 ad and you live in Dallas, you're going to end up with 7 leads, right? If you are in some small town somewhere in Texas, you might end up with more leads. If you're in Elko, Nevada, the same $50 is going to get you maybe more leads. There aren't actually that many people out there. But if you want more listings in your business, you should absolutely be running at least 1 ad a month on Google. And if you have a bigger budget, you run 1 ad a week on Google. That's just the serious machine of where you can get high quality selling. Okay. So let's go back and just wrap up what we said so far, which is we can run a landing page ad, and you can create unlimited landing pages for all your farm markets. And so after you created the landing page, then you go run an ad on it. You can run it on Google or you can run it on Facebook. I will walk people through this one here. So first of all, don't even waste your time on custom ads. I just don't think so. I think you can create custom landing pages and drive traffic to them on Facebook or Google. But custom ads, you really need to understand how Google works. And 99.9% of realtors don't understand how it works. That's why this software is so valuable, because we make it so easy. Now, I do want to click on this one, which says create an IDX ad. And frankly, it's bad the way that we designed this, but I do want to talk about what it is. This is the solution if you want buyers. Okay. And what it's doing is it's saying, okay, here's the town, and where do we want to send the traffic to? And you want to get a link to your website. And you only want to do this if you have a good website. Now, what I mean by good is this website designed to convert traffic to lead. Okay. And so what that means is Boomtown. I think most of us have heard of Boomtown, right? Boomtown is super pricey. I guess it's got a good CRM. Really the upside to Boomtown for me is that 1 out of 10 people who lands on the website register on the website. It's like listings to leads. It is designed to get leads. And so if you land on it, click around a few times and people are going to register. And that's not the only one. Real Geeks can do stuff like that. There are just some websites that you can tweak to get forced registrations. And if you have that kind of site, then you could run an ad here. But I can tell you, we have a $50 budget. These clicks to your website will probably between $5 and $10 each. I don't actually know because I really don't recommend this to do this. I don't recommend trying to get buyers from Google. You can. I just don't recommend it. And the reason I don't recommend it, it's that we know from just weekly feedback from our clients that if you run an ad on a property on Facebook, you are going to get leads with name, email, and phone number for about $3 each. I've got a property here for sale. You can even borrow a property from a colleague and put it in the account and run the ad and just click create ad and everything is written. It's all written, $35 ad. It's a smaller budget because a buyer lead on Facebook actually costs around $3 each on average right now. So if they're $3 each, you got a $35 ad that's going to run for 7 days. You can expect somewhere from 10 to 11 leads, right? That's what's going to happen. Every time it's $3, they chew off some money off of that. So are there days when it's more favorable to run ads? Yeah, Tony, on Google. Yeah. I honestly don't know. It's worth a YouTube search to ask that question, right? I don't know on that. Overall, I would tell you this, with our experience in Facebook, because we got years of experience in Facebook, weekends are better. But when I say that, I'll give you a little bit of caveat. That is from information that I had pre-COVID. And pre-COVID, the world was actually slightly different, at least here in the United States, where we all went to work, right? We went to work and we sat in our cars for at least an hour both ways. And there was a little bit of time. You might get dinner and home, and then that would be it. So lead gen would happen during the week, but on the weekends and in some markets, Sunday mornings, ton of lead gen on Facebook, right? I don't know what the world's like because there's a little more remote work and all this and that. So maybe things have changed, but on Google, I don't have enough information to give you the definitive, hey, this is the best time to run something on Google. I would think that they are a little slightly parallel in this way. It's really a question of when do people have free time on the internet to slow down and do some work. And I would think weekends are still going to be better for Google as well. You can, I didn't mention it, when you are running an ad on Google, you can shrink the days, but you want to be really careful. I don't know if you run an ad on Facebook before, but when you click publish, it will actually give you a message and say, hey, we're going to review this, or Facebook is going to review it. And they actually, somehow, I don't know if it's software or a person, they actually look at it and they say, okay, this can go out. Google does the same thing, but the weird thing about Google is it takes them forever. Sometimes it takes 2 days for them to approve an ad. And if you ran an ad for 2 days, maybe you wanted to save money, or 3 days, your ad might actually just be active for 1 day. So you want to be careful with that. So there's a lot of testing to understand how Google's going to work for you. But here we're running an ad on Facebook. In this case, when we're running an ad on a property, it's all pre-written. And I repeat this so that when you leave this call, you understand that most of our clients are getting $3 leads from Facebook for buyers with name, email, and phone number. Now, I said that kind of all backwards and convoluted. What I'm trying to tell you is this is the fastest way and the easiest way and the cheapest way to get buyer leads. So if you're an agent with a home and it hasn't sold, I would recommend you get an ad on Facebook and get people, because you will find people who are interested in that home. And there were a lot of discussions. I'm sure most of you have had experience with Facebook. And had we been talking pre-COVID, you might have been able to make the case that, hey, Facebook leads weren't really that good for him. But I'm sure you've heard the story. Inventory is tight in the United States these days, like a big theme. This lady right here, you can go listen to her on our YouTube channel. She ran $135 ad on Facebook for an open house and got 3 active buyers where she's actually communicating with them. They want to buy a home, and 1 listing. Now that's in the spring of this year, 2023, like it was March. But we have this story happening over and over. People are just like, yeah, I'm running ads and I'm getting people to talk to, right? And that's because, like I said earlier, 70% of American adults spend about 40 minutes a day there. So easy to be effective. Just choose your property and click publish. I will tell you this though. If there's something that is really awesome about the home that you're not seeing here in the ad, just click in it like I have and type it in there and then publish, and then it will show up. Just in case you're not aware, this says sponsored by Real Estate Test. That's our test account. Yours is going to be sponsored by your business page. So it's actually really good for your branding as well. And to kind of show you what I mean there, I'm going to jump into a live account. Somebody, Tony, are you from Myrtle Beach? I can't remember. That's in the Carolinas, right? This is actually a live account. Yeah. From one of the Keller Williams expansion teams, and their agents are in North and South Carolina. And they only do one thing with our system. We have so many tools. We can help agents all year long, whether they have listings or not. But these guys, they're not really interested in all that. They just need buyer leads to get to their agents that are on their team. So what they do is they get listings from their offices and they just run ads on it. And I'm going to show you what they're doing, because there's a big point. If you've been in the business for a while and you have a name that stands out, awesome. If you don't have a name that people know, then I'm going to show this to you, because not only is Facebook awesome for lead capture, it's also awesome for brand building. So this account I launched in like Halloween of last year. So at the end of October, and they just run ads at $100 each on their properties, right? And here on average, $100. So they've run 450 ads. That's a lot of ads. They spent nearly $50,000. Okay. 45,000. They have 13,000 buyer leads with name, email, and phone number in both North and South Carolina. Another important thing, and this is what I want to stress, is 3 million people, over 3 million people have seen their pages throughout the year. So it's awesome for branding. And if you are an agent and nobody knows you're an agent, it's worth your while to have consistent ads on Facebook. Okay. And let me just show you what they're doing. They are saying, hey, I want to create a listing ad. This is here's an open house. Let's do it. Create ad. And what the only change they make is they don't leave our standard $35 budget. They make it $100 budget and hit publish and run ads for 7 days. That's all they do. But they're running multiple ads, right? They've run 450 in the course of the year. So they're running more than one ad, basically one ad a day. And every once in a while, they got a couple of ads running. Just a heck of a lot of lead gen with name, email, phone number, and a ton of branding, right? 3 million times of their business pages been seen. Now, The average agent is not going to have that kind of budget. And I'm not telling you to go out and get that kind of budget. What I'm telling you is when you are thinking about, your place, like I can't remember the name of the lady who's working in San Antonio. Well, I'm just going to pull a number out of the air. There's 10,000 agents in San Antonio, right? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I high? Am I low? I talked to agents and they're like, there are 25,000 agents in their MLS, which is holy moly. How do you stand up in that kind of space? How do people know who you are? I would tell you Facebook is a great place to run ads once a week. And so I'll give you a bit of a budget and we'll talk about how this all works. Let's see here, trying to get back there. So we know we can run a listing ad and we know that's the cheapest place for buyers. What about if you want sellers from Facebook? The short answer is you can get those leads. The long answer is that by default, the way that Facebook is set up, the quality of those leads is not great. But let me show you the ways to get listing leads from Facebook. First of all, create an ad on a property that's already sold or pending. Okay. I'm going to do it. So here's a sold property here. So let's create an ad. And basically it says, and it's funny, I did a call on Top Tool to get more listings just this week. And I started the call because I was talking with a guy who was saying, I'm doing this, but I'm actually not converting any business. And we talked about what he was doing and he just didn't really have much of a plan for converting at all. Captured a lot of leads, thousands of leads in all the years he's been with us, but he just didn't really. I think he was just thinking that once I capture a lead, they're going to call me and we're going to sign a contract. But anyway, this is how you run an ad on a property that's sold. I think that you always need to click in this area and tell people how fast did you sell. And if it was quick, awesome. If it was pre-COVID, you would have this in 48 hours. If you were sold above asking, you need to put that there. If you had multiple offers, you need to put that there because these are incentives for people to respond, right? You're doing it quickly, you're getting good money and you got buyers. So if I'm sitting on the fence thinking about it, this is going to give me an incentive to, so here's a couple of questions. So let me finish this thought and I'll answer your questions, everybody. So we've got a $50 ad and we've got a sold property. So I want you to understand, we always make the ad budget higher because seller leads cost more than buyer leads. When we're running an ad on Facebook for buyers, like an open house or just listing, it's a $35 ad. You already know those leads cost about $30. You might get 10 or 11 leads, 3 into 35. For $50, when you're running a sold ad, these leads on average cost about $7 each. Okay. $7. So if you divide 7 into 50, it gets you some number. That's how many leads you would get. Okay. And they're pretty good leads. I do want to point out, I didn't show you this. We skipped it. You can also run ads on properties that are pending or under contract. Now, I don't know if your MLS allows that, but I will tell you this. Facebook doesn't know how to price these leads and they are designed to get seller leads and they charge $2.50 for this. If you're running an ad on a sold property and they're charging you $7, right? You can divide 7 into 50. That's how many leads you're going to get. But if they're charging you $2.50, you're going to end up with 20 leads with name, email, and phone number. But if it works in your MLS, I would definitely recommend running ads to get leads in this way, right? So Catherine's asking, would it be smarter to budget listing leads on Google and buyer leads on Facebook? It definitely is. Now, I will tell you this. I'm showing you now how to get seller leads from Facebook, and it is cheaper. I'm not telling you not to do it because the leads are cheaper. They're just as high of quality. But you know what? You definitely want to be fishing there for listing leads as well, because on average, it may not be as high of quality, but they're like right now, I'm showing you run an ad on a property that's pending and get 20 leads for $50. If you remember, we talked about running an ad on Google, and I said there's going to be a $50 ad, but depending on where you are, you might get 1 or 2 leads. That's a totally different metric, right? That's a totally, okay, I can talk to 20 people or I can talk to 2, right? For $50 on Google, you probably will never get more than 2 leads. Okay. You might, depending on where you are, get 3 as opposed to running a penny. You got to make a little bit of a judgment there. I would tell you what I do want to be clear is if you're trying to get buyers, get your listings or borrow a listing and put it in your account and run it out on Facebook. Like, do that. Can you do it if you represented a buyer? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You might have helped the buyer buy a home, but you know the home was sold, and you have to pay attention to your local MLS rules, but a lot of our clients do that. So definitely try to take advantage of it. So let's talk about landing pages. We created an ad earlier on Google for Pleasanton, and we could do that right here on Facebook as well. There is a big problem with this. I'm going to give you the pros and cons of this app. One, a lot of people have done it a long time, but probably the biggest con, the biggest reason why this does not work is you cannot target on Facebook like you used to 5 years ago. And let me explain. So this is Pleasanton. It's like there's a picture of Pleasanton and I'm targeting Pleasanton, but I can't shrink that radius down to just people that own a home in Pleasanton. I can't do that anymore. You actually used to be able to do that. And that made Facebook incredibly powerful. So what does that mean? What does that mean? In the real world, it means you are creating an ad in an area, this little area right here in the middle of the screen, which just goes over here to this golf course. This is Pleasanton. Okay. If I expand out, this is a 15-mile radius of Pleasanton. That means that my Pleasanton ad is showing up all over the place. So it, in all these other towns, right? And that's what makes the ad ineffective. And so I will tell you this, if you go to our YouTube channel and you click on videos and you click on this little magnifying glass and you type in custom audience, you will hear me talk about creating a custom audience. And you gotta talk about, you gotta ask yourself how long you gotta be in the real estate industry. Because if it's more than 3 to 5 years, you want to get custom audiences and you want to upload them into, you see here, custom audience target sellers. You want to upload them into your account. You can do that through listings to leads. So let's go over here and talk about that. You want to do this if you want to get listing leads, and this would actually be high quality listing leads from Facebook. Okay. Once you do this, it then becomes very easy. There are companies out in the market we're not connected to them, like Remine, I think RedX, maybe HomeSnap, where you can buy a list of homeowners and you can say, hey, I want them to have 5 years equity or more. And if your target is Pleasanton, you should buy all the homeowners in Pleasanton. And then you go over here where it says create audience and you call it Pleasanton homeowners. And right here, it gives you the format. Make your spreadsheet look like this. The list has to be more than 1,000 leads. So if you've got a little community of 250 leads, this will not work. The list has to be longer than 1,000 leads. Then when you upload it and import it, it will be imported into your Facebook ad manager. So if you stop working with us, you are still going to have that as an audience that you can target. Okay. And that's when this becomes powerful again. So if I want to create a landing page, or if I just want to be running like a PDF guide for homeowners and I'm just targeting Pleasanton because that is my farm market that I want to get business out of it. So every time I run an ad, I want to make sure those homeowners in Pleasanton, instead of typing in Pleasanton up here, you go to retarget current leads and you type in Pleasanton here. Now, I don't actually have a Pleasanton list made, but what happened? But you can, but we actually create our custom audiences for you when you turn everything on. But if you created a Pleasanton list, you could just type it in right there and it would push it there. And this ad would target those people if they were on Facebook in that 7-day period. You definitely want to do this if you've got 1 or 2 or 3 farm markets that you want to build and dominate. This is how you target those people, because otherwise it's always a 15-mile radius and it's very happenstance whether that's going to work for you or not. Once you created that, now you can use your custom audience for landing pages for that area, for any of your PDF guides, and there are 40 of them for homeowners, or for any ads about you sold a property, right? Because the sold ads or the pending ad, these are going to get listing leads. And now you're targeting the people who own homes in Pleasanton. Okay. Just let me give you a couple of cost things to think of. We talked about a little bit, but if you create a listing ad on a home that is pending, those leads will cost around $2.50 each. If you create an ad for a home that is sold, those ads are going to cost about $7 each. If you create an ad on a PDF guide for homeowners, these leads cost around $10, even sometimes $12 each. So that means if you're running a $50 ad and they're charging you $10 each, you're only going to get 5 leads. Okay. And then lastly, if you're creating a landing page ad like the one we've been talking about, home values for whatever town you've got, and you really should have a home value page for every one of your farm markets. We'll leave it on Pleasanton and do it again. These leads often cost $15 each. So if you're running a $50 ad, you could probably expect to get 3 leads. Okay. Same $50 ad, same 7 days, but your cost per lead is different. And so it's going to tell you how many leads you're going to get. In general, those numbers I just shared with you, those are the averages across the country in the last quarter of this year. Does everybody understand how you can use Facebook to get both buyer and seller lead? Any questions about that? I would tell you this, though. I will tell you this. The question has not been raised, but I think what you need to think of is, what's my ad budget going to be and what am I going to get? And if you're a brand new green agent and you have no listings, you don't have to be brand new, but you've got to watch your budget. I recommend the smallest budget would be something like $200 a month. That's $50 ad, 4 $50 ads. So 1 a week on Facebook. Now I say this, and I tell this literally to new agents who don't know what's going on and they don't have any business. What do? I tell them spend $200 a month, run a $50 ad every week on Facebook. I don't even talk about Google because you're probably not ready to have listings, right? And also the cost is much higher. So if you spend $200 a month, you remember this impressions when I was showing you like 3 million for that Keller Williams office, your ads are probably going to be seen somewhere between 10 and 15,000 times per month. So your brand gets built every month because people are seeing that, right? You're also going to generate somewhere between 50 and 100 leads, maybe 150 leads, depending on the kinds of ads that you're running. So you're running 4 7-day ads for $50 each. You can break it up and make it 8 ads at $25 each. You can do that too. But that's really my message is, if you're new to the industry, you need to build your brand. You need to find some people to talk to. Facebook with multiple kinds of ads is the way to go. If you're a realtor who has 1 or 2 listings at a time, you definitely want to be running ads, not only to get buyer leads. And I say this because what I'm about to say is, even right now, even though it's harder to sell a home, still, I had the conversation this week where somebody said, I don't want to even talk to buyers, right? They don't care. They get the listing, they put it in MLS, let somebody else bring the buyer. And so if you're that way, maybe you don't need to do that, but it's actually really smart to run an ad. Yes, you're going to get buyer leads. Maybe you give them to somebody else, but what you're basically doing is telling the market, I sell properties like this. And that's great for your brand, right? At a pretty low cost. So there are a lot of realtors who want to market their homes on Facebook to let everybody know. And their monthly budget might be 3 to 4 to 500 a month. Now they're running more ads to get more listings. They're running more ads because you can run an ad on a home that's just listed. You could run another ad on a home that's open house, and you could run another ad on a home that is sold, and you'd be getting different kinds of leads at different costs. Yeah. So Catherine, what I'm saying is you can run one ad per week. Each ad runs 7 days. And if each ad costs $50, you're spending $200 a month. Right. That's what I'm saying. But right now I'm saying, hey, if you're somebody with maybe 1, 2, or 3 listings at a time, you're going to want to increase the budget and probably spending 3, 4, 500 a month. If you then you're comfortable there and you want to get more listings, that's when you need to start thinking about Google and saying, or at some point you got to say to yourself, I really want more listings. And so I'm going to be running $300 to $500 a month on Google. If you run $300 a month, that means you might be getting 10 leads if they're $30 each. I'm not thinking I think most leads just cost less. I don't think there's any lead costing $10 or less on Google for sellers. If you've got a consistent budget running, you can do that. You can run PDF guide ads, or you can run landing page ads, and you can capture seller leads off of Google. And so you want to have what you really want for all of you on this call. You want to have a Google budget. You want to have a Facebook budget. And the last part of the budget that is a print budget. And I'm just going to show you this. It has nothing to do with Facebook or Google, but it is our top tool for getting more listings. And if you want more listings, it's called the Nearby Homeowner Letter. And right here, you can use our Partner Express copy, or you can do it yourself and save money. But if you want to save time, you can say, hey, guys, mail this letter, which is the top tool to get more listing. And not only, it doesn't generate 50 leads, it generates 1 to 5 leads. But these leads that you work on them convert the fastest into a listing contract. So if you want listings, you've got to think about the Nearby Homeowner Letter. Here, you can say, hey, I want a radius of 1 or 2 miles around this home, and they have to have 6 years more of equity. So this is a really great tool to get in front of homeowners with equity. You click submit order, and there you go. So that's really where you should have your budget. Get some print tools out. You can even use our postcard. If you do postcards, it doesn't matter what company you're from, you need to use our design, because our postcards, oddly enough, they're designed to capture leads. Your postcards are designed to have the right colors and brand to get people to call you. But you may have noticed people don't really call you all the time for your postcard. Print, Facebook, Google, that should be your budget. And hopefully you put one together for the fall and for next year, and just use our tools to make it easier for yourself. Okay, guys, that's my story. Any other questions? Okay. I was looking at your pricing. It's based on how many listings you hold. So you need to dump some. Yes, you can get rid of some. And what are you doing guides at first? Yeah, you just sign up for 0 to 10 listings. So you may not have any listings right now, Adrian. So you might want to use the PDF guides. In that case, it's $60 a month. It's month to month. You can cancel on your contract, on your profile. There's no annual contract. And yeah, you could do ads on landing pages. You could do ads on PDF guides. There's also a lot of other free social content that you should turn on. If we go back to this page on videos, if you're going to sign up, go right here to the call I did 9 days ago, get started and watch that. That's going to tell you how to turn everything on. There's a lot of automation I haven't even talked about here because it's not related to Facebook and Google. All of you should go watch this, because my guess is half of you don't even know the stuff we have available for you now. And the first 15 minutes of Get Started right here that I did 9 days ago is going to help you turn all the basic automation stuff on. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for the questions. Hopefully this helps you. I didn't mention it. We have an awesome mastermind group. There's even a lady down here, Pat Motley. She's showing everybody, hey, here's my nearby homeowner letter. She's got a super cheap way of getting it out. She's like saying, she's doing it just sold mailer. So it's a nearby homeowner letter on a property that's sold. These often get a lot of, this is our top way to get listings. That's why Pat is doing it. She's been a client for probably 10 years now. But check out these calls on our video feeds. Get started, top tools for more listings, and of course, Facebook and Google Ads, which is what we're doing. This call has been recorded. It will be on this channel probably by tomorrow. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining, and have a good fall. Oh, I'm going to give you one last pro tip if you're still here. So we're in September, almost halfway through. In November, we have this great holiday called Thanksgiving. And right after that turkey, I would say about half of your competitors take a nap until spring. The cost of lead gen on Facebook and Google can drop dramatically. I've seen it drop in some years by 75%, meaning your $50 goes a lot further when your competitors are taking a winter break. I would recommend that all of you are building that low-cost database through the holidays. So that's my last story there. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.